Hey, hello, my friends, and thank you so much for being here with me again today. And I wanted to start off by saying a tremendous thank you to all of you who shared the New Fire ceremony, again, the Native American New Year, the Winter Solstice celebration with me in person and virtual. It was just a fantastic time of sharing, releasing the old, and receiving the guiding messages of the new. And I can't wait to do it again. And hopefully there'll be more friends who will join us when we start going into next year. But one of the big messages that came was for us to be the light during this time of changes. And I wanted to share some thoughts on that because there was a friend of ours, and it was a very valid question where when you're together with kindred spirits, family and friends, who feel the same, you're all in that warm, fuzzy space, it's easy to have goodwill and to carry on in a good way. But the question that she had asked, which was extremely valid, is, well, this is fine here, but how do you carry this into the real world? And I wanted to share some thoughts on that. And my first tip for you is, as challenging as it might be, that realize that it's not an us versus them, it's we. We are a family, we are them, they are us. And the one thing that I recommend to all of you, and this was as a asking and as a teaching, was in this year that is coming, think carefully. What is it that you would embody, the blessing that you would bring to yourself into the world, knowing full well that you will bring its shadow, and the shadow will be your teacher, because we need this contrast of light and dark. So say, for example, for myself, one of the qualities that I'm hoping to embody and to share would be enlightenment, knowing that full well its shadow, the teacher, will be that of ignorance, knowing full well that there'll be people that will want to, tear me down because they might feel that I don't have my hands on reality, or for whatever reason, whatever reason. And so this is how I would carry it into the real world, and I share this with you. The first one, in addition to saying that it is us, we are them, they are us, we are, as a family, we are human, is don't take it personally. And it can be very hard when somebody you feel is coming at you and what you value with a spiky club. But realize a couple things. The first one is that they are not seeing you. They may not be in a space to hear what you have to say. And if you run into somebody whose cup is full, and it could be with the most bitter drink in it in their cup of life, doesn't mean that you have to take it as well. What it means is that you accept that is where they are, and setting good boundaries, because just because they have that bitter drink and they're trying to ram it down your throat doesn't mean you have to take it. You can respectfully set boundaries and insist that, again, this is a conversation that can be had when all parties can truly listen and come from a space of openness and fairness. If you are even in that space, sometimes there's some people that it's not even worth it. They are where they are. They insist and persist in being in that dark space. And here's the other thing that I wanted to share with you in regards to that, is the other way of carrying it into this world that can be very contrary and difficult is having a sense of compassion, which can be very difficult when you're stressed out and you're like, oh my God, here comes another one. But here's the way that I look at it. When I see somebody who's insistent on being bitter or angry or what have you, I have a great compassion for them. So if I find that they have irritated me, because I'm human after all, I'll take it over there. I won't put it in the moment, because then that escalates and feeds that toxic tornado. It's along the lines of, hey, what if somebody declared war and nobody showed up, right? So I won't feed the drama. I will acknowledge that's where they are and say, I'm going to choose not to participate. Sometimes I will actually use those words. I'm sorry. I'm just not going to engage in that way. And the reason why I come with compassion is the idea that if you have people who insist on being in that space, I'm not talking about having a bad day. We all have those days, but they insist on being there. I have compassion for them because what this represents is they will tie themselves to that wheel of unnecessary suffering, that wheel of unnecessary bitterness. And it doesn't make me better than them. You know, all of us have accidentally tied ourselves to that wheel. But to have a compassion for them that this is where they insist on being until said time that it is that they wake up and the Creator Spirit also blesses them, and we are always blessed with the opportunity to change course in this way. But realize that with that, it even gives you a sense of comparison. Not that you're better, you know, not that you're the next Buddha or what have you, but it has you appreciate that your choices have brought you into a better space. And with that, holding that aspect of compassion, at the very least, not participating and feeding and I'm going to say cementing that person's ideas. But in turn, either A, not participating in setting boundaries, or presenting the energy in a different way. And I want to share a short story where there was a neighbor. I live in an apartment building, and of course, you know, it's like living in a dorm. You know, everybody's with everybody else. And I'm very fortunate. My building is actually has a reputation for being the most peaceful. And the neighbors actually do care for each other. But there was this new neighbor. And again, I've been there for a span of years. Everything's been great. And suddenly there was a note on my door that from the front office that I was in violation of dead plants hanging over my balcony, which I'm here like, because I know I didn't. And in that moment, I had a decision. I could either get angry of being falsely accused, or, which I did, I took a step back and say, okay, well, what are they seeing that I'm not seeing? And they're new. They don't know me from Adam. You know, who knows what their experiences have been trying to approach other neighbors. Maybe it was horrible. So what I did is I wrote a note, a very friendly note. And it wasn't sarcastic, saying, hey, hello, friend. I received this note from the front, and please, I'm so sorry that you felt that you couldn't come to me directly. And basically, I wrote it as a very welcoming letter. You know, what happened was there were actually baby strawberry plants. Strawberry plants and the vines were going down and the babies were dormant. And I was personally delighted. I didn't even know that I had those baby plants. So I reeled them back up on the mother vine and put them back into my patch. And from there, we had a lovely talk and understanding. I got to understand what her history was. I invited her in warm into my home, and we're becoming friends. So from that shadow of that fear of that, you know, you did something wrong, to instead of taking it in and responding, no, I didn't, to saying, you know, I don't know this person's story. I don't know what they're seeing. Let me have a little bit of patience and to try to understand. Let me set the energy to redirect the direction of this particular interaction. And I can be honest with you, I have done this time and again, and it works. And if you come from that space of truly wanting the greatest good for yourself and for those who are involved, regardless of whether they take that or not, it becomes a positive interaction. So, my friends, I wish you the most joyous of holidays of whatever you celebrate, the brightest blessings. Until we speak again, Wanishi. And please, if you can, subscribe and like this video and share the joy and the lightness. Again, don't fight the darkness. Bring in the light. Take care, my friends.